Source here. Welcome to another Source and Company podcast. You know, you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Smitty Source on both of those. And you can follow the Source and Company YouTube channel. Woo. Yeah. All right. So today's company is my first L4L Manchester Lancer in the building.
Woo!
Might have seen her on Broadway if you are a Broadway musical type cat, you know. Or you might have seen her on Steve Harvey's show, Good Morning America, Today's Show, a list of others with her Get Fit with Nick program that she does. Ladies and gentlemen, Nikki Kimbrough.
Hi, you guys. Hey, Smitty. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you for doing this. I appreciate you. How are you doing?
I'm well. You know, I'm as well as can be right now with everything going on. You know, choosing to be positive, yet choosing to be realistic, and praying and figuring out what I can do on my part to make the world a better place. You know, that's where I am right now. That's where I am right now. Yeah.
How's New York treating you with the COVID-19? Like, I'm saying how New York treating you like it's a lot that you'll be doing, but how's it been for y'all?
You know, when we first went on lockdown, it was crazy. Like, it was, I mean, look, with my mask, you know, we had, okay, hold on, I gotta show you something. Wait, right back. I mean, now we got cute masks. But when we first went on lockdown, hold on, you guys, let me show you this. We were like this. Boom, boom. We were like, cut, 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 cut. We were like, you know, it was crazy. Now we cute. Now we got like, now we got cute masks. But I mean, it's been, when it first happened as an entrepreneur, like I'm an entrepreneur. At first, you know, back in the day, I would have like my Broadway money or I'd have different things coming in, but I am an entrepreneur. I have 3 businesses and I have a team. And so the fact that I was like, it's different when things happen and it affects you. But when things happen and you have people that depend on you, people that depend on you to pay them, people that depend on you are looking to you to lead them. That's what really got me. You know, that's what really, I knew Billy and I were going to be okay. You know, we've been through rougher things. I knew we were going to be fine. But the fact that I had to tell my team, hey, you guys, we got to take a beat. We got to take a moment. And I did not want to do that. And they love me. I check on them and all that good stuff. But that was hard. And then at first being in the house, the first 2 weeks, I thought I was going to kick Billy out the window.
And Billy, your partner.
Billy's my boo. Mm-hmm. And he thought he was going to kick me out the window. But the great thing about it is I'm really looking at it as a meantime space. You know, except for the fact, you know, we have friends that have lost parents. We are grateful that no one close to us has passed away, but we've had people that are close to us who've had parents.
Right.
One of my clients had to watch her mother's funeral on Zoom, you know. Being away, you know, I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia, you know, my entire family's home in Virginia, you know, making sure my mom's okay and all that good stuff. And she had even said, you and Billy could come here. I said, y'all don't want this New York COVID germs. Y'all don't want this New York COVID. Y'all don't want this. Mm-hmm. But it was crazy at first. But I started looking at it as a meantime space. What do I do in the meantime space? Am I going to rest? Am I going to be resilient? But it really was a great pause to really figure out what's next and what it is I want. And I think I was moving too fast. And having to pause has made me go, are your businesses built on sand, or we on solid ground? Or we, so it's making me think about some things. It's also caused my partner and I to really communicate and be in each other's spaces. And, we usually, both of us wake up early in the morning, we're gone all day. We chit chat on the phone, Marco Polo, maybe see each other for lunch occasionally, and then see each other in the evening. And it was one of the first times that 24/7 we were in the same space. And so we had to learn how to, who's here, we live in New York City. Our apartment is small, it's efficient, it's good, but it's small. How do we navigate? And then it was forced to communicate and really have some real conversations that has been needed. So, so to answer the COVID question, we making it, we in here. New York has been, we were on lockdown, like straight up lockdown. So, yeah.
Y'all were early too. Y'all were right after San Francisco, LA, New York, something like that.
Let me tell you how crazy it was. Because I would go out, I ended up turning my living room into my studio to teach my classes and to train. And at first, no one was doing anything. And no one was. Now everybody on Zoom. I just started social distancing by the water, a couple clients, but I would walk every day or run. And when I went to Times Square and it was nobody there, I'm talking about going outside my house at 9:00 at night in New York City on a Friday night, and there's not even a cab on the street. That's when I went, oh, this shit real.
Yeah.
Dag, So, yeah. So, yeah.
You're doing well. I mean, you're looking like you're still good. And then, you don't need the necessary.
I'm trying. Smitty, I told Smitty, y'all, that I'm usually blonde. I keep my hair short, and I'm like a honey glazed blonde. And, the little gray hairs that I thought were coming in, but like a little lighter, like a little highlights.
Mm-hmm.
And so right before we went on lockdown, that Sunday, that Friday, I would see my hairdresser real quick. And I said, shave it all off. So I shaved all my hair off. I was like bald. And I was like, oh, to grow back like my natural hair color. Y'all, growing back gray. It's great.
Got him.
Oh my God. I'm great. Like gray. But hey, we'll see.
It's working for you, though. It's working for you.
Thank you.
So you mentioned Billy. We'll talk about Billy in a minute. We'll get to Billy.
Okay.
But, I did mention to Get Fit with Nick. How has that been? Because I've seen you, multiple times on different shows and doing different things as far as fitness. So how has that been for you outside of, you're doing your classes in the crib, but you're used to being out and being a goer. So how's that been?
It's like I said, I'm an entrepreneur, and when they shut down I rent a space out at a cute boutique gym in New York and up, close by my house. And when they shut the gym down, it was weird to look at all my colleagues. We were like, okay, what's going on? I also do events. So my events were getting postponed. Then they finally got canceled. So like I said, it was more so like, oh my gosh. Like for a hot minute, it was like, what are we going to do? And then, I own my children's theater company and the school was closed. And you're like, there was a quick, at first there was like, hey, oh my God, are we going to be okay? Are we going to be okay? And then it was like, yeah, we have faith, trust, and just slow down and had to just think. And so then all of a sudden business started picking up. I decided to do a group exercise class and put it out there, and people joined, and I put it at a really low price just to get people feeling good about themselves, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And then the next go around, I did up the price, still not charging what I usually charge, but and then all of a sudden my personal training started picking up. My clients started calling me because I said, look, y'all, I'm training Zoom wise. And honestly, I kind of like it. I have equipment and I go out, and then also I don't need equipment. That's the great thing about I consider myself I consider myself a good trainer. I'm a good personal trainer. I consider myself more than a trainer, especially as I get older. Because it's bigger than the physical. It's if this ain't right, this ain't right. It
Life
just
coaches.
yeah, very much so, especially as I get older. But it's coming together. I'm blessed that I am my own boss. But like I said, I had a team, and I basically had to like furlough my team, and I didn't want to do it. Like I was like, hey y'all, apply for unemployment. I was like, go. So, but Get Fit with Nick is here, and she is doing a lot of good things. I'm in the process of rebranding myself. I used to be Get Fit with Nick, learning, loving, living healthy. Now I'm Get Fit with Nick, redefining fit. It's really, like I said, about us being fit physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and so much more. And that so much more comes from what do you like to do that makes you feel good? Some people don't, I'm getting older now. Yeah, I used to love plyometrics and all that stuff. My knees hurt. I have arthritis in my knees. What makes you feel good? Is it dancing? Is it this? Is it that? And it's about redefining what fit means to you. So I'm in the process of rebranding. And then I just opened up, I just created this series called Wonder Women Need Love Too, putting ourselves first in the midst of it all. And it's something that I've been thinking about for a long time, which kind of birthed some years ago when Billy had his accident. And just talking to a lot of my clients and my friends and my own personal experiences, I was realizing we put everything else before us. We put everything else before us. And I'm over here practicing and preaching to my clients. And I'm like, what you doing? What are you putting yourself first? I was just putting everybody before me. And in the words of my grandmother, may she rest in peace, my slip started to hang. Like stuff, your slip hanging. Stuff wasn't right. And I really had to ask myself, why aren't you putting yourself first? I created this series, and in the series, of course, it's a Facebook group page. I have a podcast that I just started that comes out on Wednesdays. And I put together the Ladies First Chit Chat crew. We are every Saturday at 11 o'clock on Zoom. We call it a Zoomversation. And the Ladies First Chit Chat crew is where we honor the voice of the everyday woman. And it's so good, you guys. And when I first started, I was really caught up on, okay, I need a white girl. I need this, I need that, I need that. And then it just fell into place. I have these 5 women of color. We talk about everything and everything. It started off as something that I started in the COVID-19 space that is like branched out. And I encourage people to get with it. It's a bunch of women talking about real, stuff that we go through and what we talk about, even down to our last 2 series. Part 1 was Mirror, Mirror, What Do I See? And I had this wonderful woman named Trisha Campbell come on. She's a plus size supermodel. She's Oprah's stand-in model for O Magazine.
Okay.
She's an entrepreneur. She has this plus size swim wear collection called Glamour Glamour. And she came on and really talked about beauty from the inside out and how she got to feeling the way she was feeling about herself. And then this past week, we did Mirror, Mirror Part 2, I Like What I See. And I had a woman come on named Monica Diaz, Latin woman. She came on and talked about how we accentuate the positives with our clothing and trick the eye, instead of saying hiding our flaws, fool the eye to make ourselves feel like this. But just, we talk about everything, forgiveness and, all kinds of stuff. So it's been good. It's been good. Wonder Woman Need Love Too has been a thing of mine, a thought of mine, and that I've been thinking about for a while. And as a result of COVID, I birthed it. And now we're going into our 10th week. And we have a big, my birthday is Friday. So we have this big vision party. They call me the visionary. So this big vision Saturday on Saturday. So yeah.
That's dope. So they can find that on your IG?
Yeah, they can find it on my Instagram. Yep. You go to Get Fit with Nick. I'm also at Wonder Woman Need Love Too, as well. But my social media girl that handled that, I had to let her take a break from it because of COVID-19. So
okay.
So just go to Get Fit with Nick. GetFitWithNik. Yeah.
There it is. All right, get fit with Nick. Let's go. Let's go way back real quick. Real quick. Manchester. We're not going to stay at Manchester very long because it's not really a lot. We knew
Yeah.
each other, but I'm 2 years ahead of you. So, and I'm out of there.
Yeah.
You, when I say Manchester, what do you think?
Love. I loved my high school. I loved my experience there. It was it was a good space for me. Um, it was a good space for me, and even though college was a great space for me, but I had nothing but love for people at Manchester High School, the teachers, the support. I learned a lot. Yeah, I learned a lot. I think I didn't realize, how do I say this? I didn't realize how much of, I get a little emotional.
Oh,
Uh, I didn't realize much of a, I guess, magnitude or difference that I made at the school until recently. I got inducted into the Manchester High School Hall of Fame for track and field.
yeah.
And it wasn't, and I remember my senior year, and I got the Distinguished Lancer Award. And it usually goes to someone that's like the top three in the class. I wasn't top three in the class. And I got the award. And I think it went so fast because I had a state track meet I had to leave early for to go do. And um, I didn't realize that I was the first of a lot of things. We went to a predominantly white high school. I ended up graduating from, at the time, was the new Manchester. I was
Mm.
the first class to graduate from the Manchester that was built. And I was the first Black homecoming queen, and back then I wasn't really thinking anything of it. It was like, oh, I'm a homecoming queen. But I was the first Black captain of the cheerleading squad, and I think what got me the most that I did not know until I got inducted, I was the first, not Black girl, but first female in a non-revenue sport in all the years of Manchester High School to get a full athletic scholarship to a Division I school.
Really?
I did not know that. My mother was like, "You didn't?" I did not know that. Maybe I did, but at the time it didn't. As a 40-some-year-old woman, that's a big deal. I was
Yeah.
the first girl, first young woman in the history of Manchester High School, back before they had Black kids coming to the school, to, as a non-revenue sport,
Mm-hmm.
get a full scholarship to a Division I school. That's huge. And it wasn't until I got inducted and they said all my stuff, I was like, what? And to hear the things that I did back then, I was like, it was the first time I was like, okay.
Right.
Back then I was just like, I was just Nikki Kimbrough, just Nicole Kimbrough, running around like I was just doing the things that I love to do,
Right.
and I love to, I was a great athlete. I could sing, I could dance, I could cheer, and I liked people. And I realized that even now, when I went back for my 25th high school reunion, it was so great. And I remember a lot of people were like, "You're still the same person." I was like, "Yeah, I guess."
Yeah,
So yeah,
you are.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
but I would have expected that anyway. Like I could have not seen you for like 40, 50 years, whatever it could have been. And I would still expect you to be the same person. Because some
Wow.
people just have that type of personality that you can just, this is who they are.
Yeah.
So we
Thank you.
appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
And you did get that D1 scholarship and move on to UVA.
Go Who's Wahoo Wahoo Wah hey! Look at that ugly shirt.
I wore this.
He
My
got the nerve.
my daughter is a Hokie. She'll be
Okay,
a
it's
senior
okay.
this year, upcoming.
That's good.
And
That's
she's
good.
a cheerleader, so you can appreciate that, right?
Yes. And Virginia Tech has a great cheerleading squad. They have
Absolutely.
a great cheerleading squad. Oh, congratulations, Dad. That is awesome.
Yeah, it makes it a little more fun for us. Makes it a little more fun going up to the games, and yeah, it's a fun time.
I
But
love.
UVA, you 3-time all ACC.
Yeah, I all ACC, NCAA's,
Mm-hmm.
qualified for the Olympic trials. I got a really bad injury in college. I was on my way to really doing some big things, and I got a really bad injury. And I came back, and I qualified for the NCAA's every year I was there. And I got injured my second year, I think. It's been so long. And then I got injured again my fourth year. I redshirt. I graduated in 4 years, but I redshirt. I had a really bad injury. I like tore my hamstring completely. It was awful.
Mm.
And then I came back, and that's when I really started seeing, oh, I could take this to another level. Like I became this really great long jumper, and from there I went to grad school, and in grad school ended up training, being on the Olympic development circuit. But UVA is where things shifted for me as a person,
Absolutely.
a good way. I really started to figure out who I was. I know I was excited because I was coming from high school. I was this big fish in a small pond. And I was ready to go to college to still be, I was like, oh, I could just fade in. Well, I ain't fading.
Splash.
I faded. And, I was trying to, but things just kind of, evolved. And I met some of the best people, coming from a predominantly white school, going to another predominantly white school. It's funny, UVA had a very strong African American community. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, we got a strong black alum. We got
Mm.
a strong black alumni at UVA, and a lot of them are here in New York. Very strong black alum, and we became very close. We were so close that we had a bus stop that they called the BBS, the Black People Bus Stop. And but
Okay.
it was really great to be amongst people, Black brothers and sisters, that, especially coming from a predominantly white high school. And I didn't really think much of it. I had my friends. I was friends with everybody in high school.
Right.
But to get, because I ran track, a lot of my friends, capital swing, all this stuff. But it was great to be amongst some powerful Black women and men that are now to this day changing the world.
Mm.
My best friend, when I found my best friend at UVA, and she's changing the world. I won't say who she is. I don't know if she would want me to shout her out. She's a very important person, but she's not like me. I'm all out. She's a little transparent. And just, and I started to find my stride in who I was, who I am as a woman, who I am, the merit that I carry. I started to find my voice, which makes what's going on right now with George Floyd and everything very emotional and very connected to it. And it's funny how it wasn't until I got to college where I really, I grew up around these my mother is very powerful, very strong African American woman, my aunts, my grandmother, but it wasn't until I got to college that I really was like, I am a proud Black woman. What? I don't, that it was college that really brought that out of me. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So even well, there's did the 2000, what was this, 2017,
Mm-hmm.
when you saw Charlottesville on the news?
I was done. Okay.
Okay.
Smitty, I was done. And I'm one of those people, because of my brand, I don't really talk about politics and stuff on my Facebook page. I'm not on
Right.
Facebook as much as I used to. I'm on Instagram a lot. I'm on Instagram like almost every day. You see that. I'm not on Facebook that much anymore. But I don't really talk about politics. A lot of it's because there are some people I went to high school with who I dearly love, and we share different political views, and their parents were very much a part of who I am. And I just had said, you know what, I'm gonna have to stay out of this, you know? And I voiced my opinion about Charlottesville. And one of my good friends said, uh-oh, Kimbrough talking about politics, you know, she, you know, and no, I had to say, I was upset because, you know, I'm gonna say it wasn't like that when I was there, but clearly we all know it was like that. It just wasn't, you know, because of our leader right now. It's made it so people can come out, people feel comfortable coming out and saying what they want to say, you know. But when I was at UVA, it was, you know, I was in a secret society, I was an imp, and, you know, we, you know, the athletes, the sports, black, white, we got along, you know. It was like that in high school too, we got along. So to see what was going on in Charlottesville, and I'm a proud alum of UVA, I was upset. I was upset. And I talked about it. And I had a childhood friend's mom who I loved and looked up to comment. And no, she didn't comment. I ended up commenting on something that I saw of hers. And I usually don't do that, but I had just been watching it. And I think the Charlottesville thing got me so upset. And I was like, how can you think like this when you were a big part of who a lot of us black kids at that school, what we're about. And it escalated, and she came for me and tried to attack me and where I went to school and all this stuff. Look, I should be talking about this.
Really?
Tried to come for me, and my boyfriend said, "You peacocking now." I was like, "Hell yeah." You know, and it was the first time I got blocked. And I was like, all of a sudden I was like, but I'm Nikki Kimbrough, I'm nice, I got blocked. But you know what? It was like, oh well. And that's where the pride of who I am. I am a black woman. I love all people. But when you talking out the side of your neck, and you're supposed to be someone who I look up to and support me, and you talk out the side of your neck, it hurts. You know, it hurts. It hurts. So I had to eventually just accept the fact that some of the people I grew up with, we have different opinions. However, I cannot take away how they were nice to me, and they were good to me, and they provided, you know, but it tough. So I decided not to talk about politics. But when shit gets real, shit gets real. Like on my Instagram page for this weekend, I was like, oh no, we not staying silent here. You know, this is what Gifted with Nick believes in. Gifted with Nick is Nikki Kimbrough. This is what I believe in. And so, yes, I am going to say something. So.
Does that, you think that, I mean, when I look back, I'm not a big Michael Jordan fan, generally speaking, but I know that Michael Jordan was great. I'm not stupid. So, but when I look back at him, I know that he used to be silent on whatever. And the first line is, what, Republicans buy sneakers too, or something like that. Do you kind of mentioned it, do you worry about that type of thing affecting you in the future? Or is it, these are the people that rock with me and that's what we're going to do, as opposed to being, you know, I don't know, more open to whomever? I mean, I'm sure you're open to whomever anyway.
I'm open to everybody. I am open to everybody. I've always been very open to everybody. That's just who I am. But, and as much as I hate to admit it, I've been a people pleaser all my life. So sometimes I wouldn't say things because I didn't want I wanted everybody to like me. But as I get older, I stand in what I believe in. And it's okay to agree to disagree. You know, I'm telling you, I have friends that I grew up with and back home in Richmond who I adore and love. And we have just decided we have to agree to disagree. But I am in a space in my life, and I feel very confident as my brand and who I am. This is what I believe in. And if you don't want to rock with it, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But if you can be bold enough and strong enough to agree to disagree and still rock with me, that's even better, you know? But that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
That's fair. So I had been doing some, a little research, and I run across, like, I know you got your master's from Syracuse.
I sure did. Yes.
Now, and I know just from watching sports and listening to sports talk shows, Syracuse and Northwestern are the pinnacle of media.
Communications, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you said that you had an encounter with Spike Lee at, I believe it was at Syracuse, right? Just tell me about it.
So I've never officially met him. I always said if I win my Emmy, I gotta think Spike Lee. When I was in graduate school, I had just gotten the Olympic trials had gone by. I qualified for Olympic trials. I was one of the top long jumpers in the country. This was like during the Marion Jones time, and 3 weeks before the Olympic trials, I got a really bad injury. I hurt my foot. They said in the paper I fractured it. It really was a severe heel bruise. I remember for years I was like, I fractured my heel. I was like, no, it was a heel bruise. But it was so bad that I couldn't get it together. I was on crutches for a long time, and I was devastated. I've always been a team player, and I was devastated. And I remember Marion Jones reached out to me and was like, Kimbrough, they jumping like crap out here. She didn't say crap, but
right.
And I was trying to get it back together, and it was just a slow process. And the guy I was dating at the time was a football player, and he was younger than me. He was an undergrad, and he was also a performer. And he would tell people, I interned in the sports information office at Syracuse, and he had said, y'all know Nikki sings, right? Because they were looking for someone to sing the national anthem at a basketball game. And they said, you know Nikki sings, right? And they were like, Nikki? And they were like, yeah, Nikki is. And the guy that my boyfriend at the time was like, no, she like sings. So I sang the national anthem. Everybody went crazy. And I ended up becoming the PR director for the Paul Robeson Performing Arts Company there. And then all of a sudden, the director found out that I could sing. And so I ended up being in Dorothy and the Wiz, but all this stuff. But I was still trying to figure out if I was going to run track. So Spike Lee comes. I wasn't Dorothy and the Wiz yet. That's what opened up my mind to do it. Spike Lee comes, and he's speaking to the graduate students and undergraduate students at the Newhouse School of Public Communications. And he's talking, and some of the undergrads are just like this, and I'm like this, soaking in everything. And he says, most of you guys choose to be communications majors. You're really performers afraid of the instability. And I went, you know, when you're in a movie and they like, ooh, I was like, he talk, and the kids around me were, let's talk. I was like, did y'all hear that? I was like, he said, I'm going to say it again. Majority of you guys choose to be communications majors. You're really performers. You're just taking the safe route. He said, I'm here to tell you, if you are a performer in your heart, go for it. You're young enough, follow your passion. And I sat there, Smitty, the next day, I got a backstage paper, which is a trade paper for performing arts. And I saw that they were having auditions for The Lion King. And I got on a bus for September 11th. I got on a bus at 4:00 in the morning, went to New York City. This is before September 11th. I went to the Marriott Marquis Hotel, took a bird bath in the bathroom. I ate breakfast. Oh, I'm getting a little emotional thinking about it. It's been such a long time. And I went and stood in that line and I auditioned for The Lion King. And from there, I kept getting called back. From there, I ended up getting called in for like Rent. This was like when these shows were like first coming out. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And then they were saying, Nikki, keep building up your resume. And that's when I went back to Syracuse and I was Dorothy and the Wiz, and I started doing plays. And track started getting further and further away. And one day I got called, big story, September 11th, 2001. I was supposed to be on a bus at 4:00 p.m. One of my best friends that from graduate school had already lived in the city. I was coming to stay with her, and I had a Lion King audition, my final Lion King audition. I've been getting called back. It was the next day. So I wake up that morning, I never forget it. I was like, let me see what Katie Couric talking about. Turn the TV on, and I kind of saw something, went to the bathroom, came back. The second plane had just hit. So I'm my mom's only child, but not my dad's, and my sister's calling because I had talked to her the day before and told her I was leaving to go to New York. I told her I didn't know if I was leaving in the morning or afternoon. So my mom, my dad, everybody's like, we're like this. Lion King, Bender Casting called me. They were like, Nikki is supposed to be coming into town. They wanted to make sure I wasn't here. I wasn't there. And it was crazy. I did end up going a couple days later. I drove my car and auditioned, and Mark Brandon said to me, you need to move to New York. And I was like the drinks and it just went down, He said, you need to move to New York. And so I ended up going back and forth. I was in the Lion King workshop. And then I ended up eventually moving to New York City. I moved to New York City, I want to say maybe 8 months later, 7 months later. I remember I saved my money. No, it was September 11th, 2001. I moved to New York City in 2002 of April. Beginning of April of 2002, I moved to New York. And I remember my mom said, are you sure you want to move? And my mom's very much go after your dreams. And I was like, well, I ain't asking for your permission. I'd have saved $5,000. That $5,000 was gone the first month I moved here.
$5,000 would hit different in New York City.
But yeah, I moved to New York, and in the midst of all of that, I did a lot of stuff in graduate school. I had interned for the WNBA. I interned for the NFL Players Association. I thought that singing was going to be a hobby for me, and I was going to end up being this huge public relations director. My sight was I was going to be, eventually senior vice president at NFL, the NBA, or whatever. That's where I was going. And I ended up moving to New York. The WNBA had offered me a job. I turned it down because I said, I want to pursue this singing and acting. And I needed to get a job. So I ended up, my best friend, Melanie, ironically, one of my best friends, she just texted me. She said to me, her boyfriend at the time was like, isn't Nikki a trainer? Because when I was in graduate school, I got certified to be a trainer. I was a high school coach, all this stuff. And she was like, yeah. And so I ended up working for Bally Total Fitness. 3 weeks into me working into Bally Total Fitness, they were looking for a fourth spokesperson. They were looking for an African-American female. I was recommended. I was meeting with the head of public relations. Remind you, my master's degree was in PR. It was a group of us. They said, who wants to go first? I said, I'll go first. And my boss at the time said he'd never forget that. He was like, who is this? I went in, walked the walk, talked the talk. I became a local spokesperson. 6 months later, I was a national spokesperson. And that's what started me on TV, Bally Total Fitness commercials. And so when I opened up Gifted with Nick later on in life, those same connections and those people who were junior producers when I was in my 20s are now the EPs or co-EPs of the Steve Harvey show. So they go, when they get in these positions, they go, where is Nikki Kimbrough? Boom. So it pays to be a good person, to be who you are, because these people that you meet on the way end up, when we get into our late 30s, end up being the people that's running the show, and they think about who they met along the way, So
who was a good person, who was somebody that'll be easy to work with.
Yeah, that's what I got too. And the reason I ended up on Steve Harvey the old CEO of Bally Total Fitness opened, discovered this thing called Sprawn Fitness. And it's a treadmill with a, it's made like a treadmill, and it had a very soft bottom, like a sand bottom. It was really great for people with osteoarthritis and joint pains. And I have osteoarthritis just from being a long jumper all these years, running marathons and stuff. And so they were pitching it to the Steve Harvey Show, the co-executive producer. Oh, who I love to this day. Said to them, "Where's Nikki Kimbrough? I heard she was on Broadway." They said, "She is. Her show closed." And he was like, "She's got her own business now." And he said, "Get me Nikki Kimbrough, and you guys, this would be on Steve Harvey." They flew me to Chicago. I got acclimated with the equipment, what it is. I believed in it. I stood by it, went on Steve's show. Steve liked me, brought me back, kept bringing me back. He would bring me back to be in the audience, to talk about in the audience. Now, remind you, there are tons of personal trainers in Chicago. They would fly me from New York to go be on his show. And so I was sad when, I was happy for him that he went on to do what he wanted to do in California, but that Chicago-based team was my team, but I'm still close to them today. The EP is the EP for the Kelly Clarkson Show. The co-EP is doing a lot of projects, and I have my own production company now called Kimbrough and Company.
Really?
And so I'm in the process of doing some work. I'm a producer and a director, and I do some things with that, and I'm fostering those relationships. So, it really pays to, it's funny, Smitty, how my athletic background, my communications background, and my performance have all come together. And one of the reasons I left Richmond, Virginia, I didn't want to come back at first, because I was like, I'm gonna end up being a teacher, which is nothing wrong with being a teacher, because I'm a teacher now. I'm an educator. You can't run from what you were meant to be. But I was like, I'm gonna be an educator. My mom was an amazing educator. I'm gonna be the cheerleading sponsor, the track coach. But it's funny, I'm in New York City, and that's what I do. I am an educator. I just carved it and fostered it in a different way, in an entrepreneurial space. So you can't run from what you were meant to be, So
no matter how fast you are.
I'm talking too much.
No
I'm sorry, y'all.
No matter how fast you are. That was a good line. Can't run from who you're supposed to be.
Yeah, you can't run from who you're supposed to be. For years there, I think back, I was a track coach. I was, you
were doing all those things.
I've been doing all these things, and now I know now what I really want to do, and we can talk about that later. But I ended up opening up Get Fit with Nick. I was a spokesperson for Bally Total Fitness for almost 7 years, and I also, because of my PR degree, I did some pitching. I worked for the main corporate office in Chicago. And when we got laid off, I was like, what? And whereas some of my other colleagues went to go join, that's when Equinox was starting to come, And I saw too many things behind the scenes, and I went, I can do this myself. And that's when I opened up Get Fit with Nick. And then shortly after that, I ended up getting Dream Girls, and I went on tour. And matter of fact, Mark Brandon, the man that told me to move to New York, 6 years later, because the Bally Total Fitness took over my life, which I loved. I was on Tony Dance, on Tap Dancing, Wayne Brady, In the midst of all this, I went on Star Search, all this stuff. And then when I got laid off, my Mel said, I think you need to go back to what you moved to New York to do. I'm in my early 30s now. I'm like, I'm old. They're not going to take me. I went to a Lion King audition. Mark Brandon, I was the last person to be seen. He looks at my headshot. He goes, Nikki Kimbrough. He goes, oh my God, this is my baby. Oh my God. He was like, I thought you left the business. He goes, get out of here. I got a show for you. This is not it. And I was like, it's not. And he was like, I got a show for you. He said, I'm calling you in 3 months. 3 months he called me. I auditioned for, I remember I voted for Obama. I auditioned for this Obama. The first time I auditioned for Dreamgirls. And yeah. And I got the show. It was at the Apollo. Then we went on tour for almost 2 years. Some of my closest and dearest friends are from that show. And it opened the door for so many things. I came back. It opened the door. I was auditioning for things. I really thought Superfly was going to be my Broadway debut with Bill T. Jones, and it ended up shelved. And then in the midst of all of it, my life changed. The love of my life was in an awful motorcycle accident. So yeah.
So where did Broadway come in the midst of all of that?
Broadway came after Billy's accident.
Really?
Yes. Now Dreamgirls was pre-Billy.
Right. That was Apollo.
Yeah, it was Apollo, and then I went on tour. And then when I came off tour, I was doing a lot of workshops. The Superfly was the big workshop. It was the show we thought I still think Superfly the musical to this day should have been on Broadway. And I spent like 3-4 years of my life with that show, and I thought that was going to be my show. But in the midst of there, I got an agent. I was doing different things, TV stuff. It was like all this stuff was happening. And then I was up for a sister act for the tour, and then Billy had his accident, and my life changed, and I put a lot of things on hold for a minute, and there was some resentment that went in there, but it was a decision that I chose. And then in the midst of all of that, I ended up getting a phone call to audition for A Night with Janis Joplin, and I went and I booked it, and that's how I got on Broadway. And I have a really good story, Smitty. When I was 7 years old, I was in Annie at the Haymarket Dinner Theater.
I was gonna say that.
Oh, you were? Okay, go ahead.
No, I was going to just saying I had done some, recon and somebody for a story, and it was like, she said 8 years old. Like she was Annie at 8 years old, and we knew she was going to be a star from that point on.
Oh, who said that?
Angie.
Alexander? That's my boo. That's my sister. That's my sister. We've known each other we got birthdays coming up. Angie, we about to be old, boo. That's my sister. Like, that's my girl. Her mom and my mom are very close. Like, we knew each other before we got to Chesterfield County. We knew each other since we were 7, 8 years old, since we were kids. Oh, that's so sweet. She said that. Yeah, it was like, I was in Annie, and I told my mom, I was like, Ma, I want to move to where the Statue of Liberty lives, and I'm going to be on Broadway one day. My mom was like, okay, Nikki. And my opening night, I don't know where she is. She might be in the back. My opening night, my mom gave me an Annie doll. And throughout the years, I didn't know what happened to this Annie doll, okay? I'm 7. I auditioned at 7, and then I ended up turning 8, and in the midst of it, and it was this Annie doll. Fast forward, my opening night, I'm in my mid-30s on Broadway. My mom gives me a gift. My mom said, make sure you open it up before the curtain. She's out there. Her, Billy, and Brittany, my friends out there. And I'm getting dressed, and I was like, I gotta open up my mom's gift. And one of the gifts that she had given me was when I auditioned for Annie, I was the only Black girl in Richmond, Virginia to do this show. And my mom wasn't sure if I was going to get picked because she didn't know if they were going to be fair. And then when I got called back, she was like, okay, if they're fair, they're going to let this little Black girl in the show. And I was like, back then I didn't think anything of it. And my mom, there was a newspaper article of me in my little plaid, my little tap shoes, my little hair. I still have it to this day. And my mom had sent that to me, and I had it up in my dressing room. So my mom gives me this gift. Smitty, remind you, I'm in my mid-30s. This was 7 years old. I open up this box. It is the faded Annie doll that my mom gave me at my opening night. When I was. And the note said, I've kept this all these years because I knew you would make it to Broadway. I was done.
Wow.
It was 20 minutes before I'm supposed to go on stage. I was still putting on my eyelashes and everything. I was done. But to have that love and support from a woman that, and she goes, you did this, you did that. But she said she always knew it was going to come. I was going to land there. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I'm sorry, y'all. I talk a lot.
Yeah. And you still got the dog. You said you still got Annie.
I still have Annie. I was like, where is she? Usually she sits right up here. I don't see her. She must have fallen. Okay, I gotta go find her.